Hello. Oops. Hello, hello, people. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hopefully, everybody's doing good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh, there goes the notification that we're live. I think. I don't know. That may have been a notification for something else. I don't know. Stop. Very well could have been. Oh. Says, take a good look around me. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I know I'm live. Crazy how that works. You like the new background? Yes, I know it says StreamYard up there in the corner and you can see the little wolf up there or whatever and everything. What's up, veterans? Yes, I do have a paid version of StreamYard. It is at a discounted. Uh, it is discounted, so you'll still see like the StreamYard over there in the corner or whatever the heck it is. Hello, storage brats. But I can have up to I think 10 people on there. It's nice when they give you a discount. The only bad part about it is I couldn't remove the little StreamYard. At least you don't see the duck. Of course, the duck don't bother me anyway. Hello, Kimberly. As some of y'all are coming in, you'll probably notice, and that down at the bottom, let me see if I can get it to come. If you'll look down there in the little bottom corner, and that we did regain our monetization. If you get 2 purple hearts, you get StreamYard free. Oh, wow. But I don't have a purple heart. You're very welcome, honey. If you, like I said, if you look down there in the corner, guys, we did get our monetization back, uh, and everything. It says I can engage with my audience. That's nice. You can now get membership back if you want to, guys. If you want to become a member, you don't have to. All that good stuff, but the option is there, which is awesome that we got that back. Hello, Tats. Thank you. I appreciate that. Your Purple Heart looks pink on mine, dude. I don't know. Well, hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Enjoying having StreamYard back to where I can actually. Hello, Miss Deb.
That's great, man. Man, he was in rare form tonight, man.
Oh,
Mm-mm-mm. Lord have mercy.
hello,
He
Bear.
was he was self-righteous like a motherfucker today. But that's okay, man. I don't have a purple heart, you know? I just don't understand why people still support that sumbitch. I really don't. I just don't. It blows my fucking mind right now. He said that we're all trying to just take his subscribers away because we're jealous of how many subscribers he has. That's what it's about. That's what this is about. And then I saw, listen to this though. I saw a father of a disabled female soldier who came on there, and he said he waited all day to get on the channel, and then he had to wait an additional, I guess, 20 minutes to be a subscriber, right? He got on there finally and said he was sitting there with his disabled daughter, who was actually a Wrangler fan, and wanted his daughter wanted him to answer the questions about the Purple Hearts and stuff. I guess it got around to her or whatever, and he absolutely just ignored it, blocked him, said he was a sock account, and that was it. Just completely dismissed him completely. And I'm thinking to myself, there's a guy that's sitting next to his disabled daughter, and I guess he said that his daughter was shot in the neck or something like that, and that's why she's disabled. So
Wow.
yeah, he just decided, that's a sock account. I'm not going to answer that. Oh my lord, I wanted to pull my hair out, but
Hey, what's up?
What's
how are you?
up? You like my background?
Yeah, it's nice actually. I like that a lot.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
with
it
what
seemed
you
like.
showed earlier, Tads, I think now it makes it a lot easier for people not to follow him because now
Right.
it really shows, okay, yes, he's lying about this shit.
I was really surprised to see Miss what's her name, Mandy in my chat the other, or isn't that her name, Mandy? I think she was in there today, and she was like, do you feel the walls turning around you and stuff? The one of his closest followers at one time, isn't that her name, Miss Mandy? I think something
I
like
think
that.
so.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she was a staunch supporter of his, and he would call her sis and stuff like that all the time. And I was very surprised at that. I had no idea. I had no idea she. I'm just hoping that more people see the truth. That's all. I don't want to see any more people get scammed by his stories, because the thing is look, I can't. I'm not gaining anything from this. I don't care. I don't listen. If my channel just dropped down to one subscriber at this point, as long as I expose his ass, I'll be satisfied. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
wish more people would care about the vets and like
Well, they
start
don't
really
care.
looking into the stolen valor stuff,
Well,
honestly.
well, I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna have to care once the POW network gets done with him,
Yeah.
I just
because
wanted to take a second and tell everybody thank you for coming in here. We appreciate it.
yeah,
And
man.
that I know some of y'all are not very pertinent to what we're talking about and that uh, and everything.
Oh, Storage Bratton. Yeah, I wouldn't know some of these people. I
Yeah, storage
yeah,
brats.
they're probably
They've
like,
been
what?
with us for
What are
over
they
2 years.
talking about?
Her and her husband and Blinky Dad. They've been with us for over 2 years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people know what stolen valor is, and it's a very important thing to me. I'm a veteran. I served in the army as a combat medic, and a lot of my friends have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and in wars that they may not have even agreed with, but they still did it. And I lost a friend not too long ago. He was actually talked about on the floor of Congress. His name was Master Sergeant Mark Allen, and he was shot through the head by an enemy sniper when he was out looking for Bo Bergdahl. and he was quadriplegic for 10 years, and then he finally passed away with his family around him. And he had a little girl that used to sit on his lap every day of her hero daddy, just to spend time with him every day. And this guy that we're talking about is claiming things like my buddy did. My buddy actually did get shot, and he did suffer for a long time. He couldn't stand on his own without support. He couldn't speak. The only thing he could do was smile and cry. That's the only thing he could do now. He could not speak or anything. And he had to be hoisted up by his wife and changed like a baby and all that stuff. And we're talking about a guy who was a door kicker, a guy who was a badass, like the kind of guy that they would make movies about, that kind of guy. And then he was reduced to that because of his injuries. And then you got somebody like this guy claiming to be a wounded veteran when he never was. And that kind of thing just infuriates me.
I seen a gentleman today. I'm assuming. Now, I don't know for a fact. I do know that he was a disabled veteran,
Right.
but I'm assuming that he served during like Vietnam, Korea.
Sure.
Given the gentleman's age.
Yeah, they're pushing in their 80s right now,
And
late 70s, early 80s now.
I went up to him and I told him thank you for his service, and he goes, "No, thank you for recognizing my service."
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
how well how that makes you feel good. It really
Right.
does.
Well, to be honest with you, I have a hard time sometimes, and I heard Wrangler say this and it made me laugh. But in reality, I sometimes don't know what to say when people say thank me for my service because I think, to be honest with you, the thanks to me belongs on the people who are no longer with us. That's who the thanks goes to. Those are the people who gave everything in the stead of everybody else, and those people to me deserve the utmost. I made my son when he was growing up. I made him watch every Memorial Day. I made him watch videos about Medal of Honor winners because I wanted him to see the sacrifice. I wanted him to learn their names like most people know about Michael Jordan and all of them. I just wanted them to be known. Those people should be known, but they're not. They're not even their names aren't even taught in school. They should People should know about Audie Murphy. You know what I mean? World War II, best most decorated soldier ever lived.
Yeah.
Nobody knows him anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, what I would love to see is the ones that did sacrifice themselves
Right.
end up getting more of the celebrity type status than actual celebrities and
Yeah.
athletes.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. One of my favorite poems out there is called "A Soldier Died Today," and I don't know if you ever heard it, but you should look it up if when you get a chance. And it describes it perfectly how politicians lay in state and everybody's around them and they're always paying them homage and everything. But a veteran dies every day unsung. Nobody notices them. Nobody cares. They just die an old man. But probably it's fine. They live a normal life and whatever. But nobody pays them any attention. They just pass away and everybody just forgets about them.
Have you ever seen
And
the movie Sergeant York?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. That's the one
It's
with Audie Murphy, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very good movie. Yeah, where they talked
Hmm.
about how he was conflicted and stuff. And I know it was a movie and they dramatized
Right.
some things, but you know he was just a simple man, and he was conflicted about whether he should join and fight. And
Oh, a lot of people are. A lot of
you
people
know,
are. Hmm. Part
it,
of the reason why I became a medic was one reason because of that. Because I wanted to. I don't know if I ever told you, but Desmond Doss was my absolute hero growing
hi
up.
boo.
And Desmond Doss is the guy who made. Desmond Doss is who they made that movie Hacksaw Ridge about. The medic that was a conscientious objector, never fired a shot, but he was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor because of all the men he saved. And he never fired a shot, never killed anybody ever because of his convictions. And he faced some of the most fierce fighting in history. And my grandfather knew of him because my grandfather was a World War II vet too in that theater of operation, and heard about him and talked about him all the time to me when I was a kid growing up. And so I always wanted to be a medic growing up, and I actually became one just because of what Desmond Doss did. And I always loved what he said in the movie. That's actually not a quote from him, but in a place where everybody's so bent to do some harm to people, why can't somebody actually be there to do some good? And that's kind of the way I thought about being a medic. Is when everybody's being evil to each other and stuff, there's at least some compassion somewhere coming from somebody.
And see that's a fact, Deb. That's an absolutely fact. Nobody cares about the homeless veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's sad.
It is
honestly.
sad.
Now, some veterans do prefer to be out of the off the grid, if you will. I know a few that are like that, where they choose that life because they don't want to be they don't want to be around society anymore, because of some of the things they witnessed and everything. It's very hard to. I mean, I found it hard for myself to adjust back to civilian life when I first came out, and I can't just talk to anybody. Only other vets understand a vet. Just like only another firefighter can understand a firefighter, really, and have a good conversation and really relate to that person, and it's just one of those. Only another wrestler, a pro wrestler, can relate to another pro wrestler in a certain way that no other person can.
Well, it like with speaking of pro wrestling and stuff, it was very disheartening to hear of Wyndham Rotunda, which is his stage name was Bray Wyatt,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really tough to hear of him passing.
Right.
Especially at such a young age.
Was he akin to Mike Rotunda by chance?
Yes, that's Mike
Okay.
Rotunda's son,
Yeah, I knew of Mike Rotunda.
and it's sad, when something like that happens, and I was very heavy hearted. He
Right.
touched a lot of people, and what people don't realize when you become such a big star or celebrity or something like that, people don't take into consideration there is a man, regardless of his celebrity status. He's a man with a family,
Right.
brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, kids, and
Absolutely.
people don't take that into consideration.
No, they think of people that are of a celebrity status. 'Cause I actually have one in my family to a celebrity of sorts, and they think of them as basically like a toy almost, like they're not real, like they don't really have feelings
Right.
and actual and just because they have a lot of money, they do have a lot of money. The one in my family is worth like almost $30 million, and that just the fact that they have a lot of money makes them the object of everybody's. They don't think of them as human necessarily. They think of them as like, oh, we can say whatever the hell we want about them, and they don't care. Blah 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 blah, and that's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah, there's only one celebrity I have mad respect for, and
Mhm.
that's Pat Tillman.
Yeah. Well, he took one for the country.
Yeah, he
Now,
gave
I will
up
say,
$30 million a year career to die
But
for us.
I've noticed something also too. With even like a YouTube channel, especially the more you grow, the bigger your channel gets and
right,
stuff. People don't realize, and they're that
that were real
people don't
people.
think about you having a life outside of
Right,
YouTube,
right,
and I mean, I know it's not the fans' fault or your subscribers' fault, because you did ask for that celebrity status.
right.
And do I feel like that sometimes you owe your subscribers an explanation about some things? Sure. Now there's some things you can't tell everybody.
No,
It
no.
just it's never
There's
going
some
to work.
things meant to be kept private. That everybody deserves that.
Yep.
You know.
What's up, Big How you doing, brother? But
Yeah.
like with me, we've been such, you know, we've been fighting this fight with getting remonetized and
Right.
stuff, and that I don't know how long now.
How
KS
did you
probably.
do that? Did you actually actively pursue it yourself, or?
Yeah, we'd I had to wait. They suspended me and wouldn't let me reapply again for
Oh wow.
June,
The first time,
July,
they
August, September. For like the last 4 months, he's been fighting it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
and the first they suspended me because they said I had used copyrights or
Oh,
reused data or reused content or something like that.
crazy.
And well, when something is popular, a lot of channels are going to pick up on it and
Sure.
use some that same video
Right.
or pieces of it or add commentary to it or whatever the case may be. Well, I posted 3 shorts and they went absolutely nuts. One got over 5 million views.
Oh, wow.
To get remonetized, I had to delete all of the videos
What?
that had gotten over 1 million views before they would give me my monetization back.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, it's not my fault that somebody else done the same thing,
What was the videos about? Were they?
it was a Karen video.
Oh, okay.
This chick was absolutely just nuts, dude. She was stealing packages off the people's porch, and
Oh, no.
oh yeah, it went nuts. It had
I
over
may have
5
seen
million
that video, to
views.
be honest with you, as I watch videos like that, so I may have even seen it myself.
It had over 5 million views, and yeah, so
I like the guy that makes the glitter bomb packages. You ever seen that guy?
yeah,
He was like a NASA engineer at one time, and he makes these. And they spray fart spray and everything. They have a camera, and they say stuff to the people when they open the box. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, did
And
he get in trouble for that?
Did he? I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow him that closely, but I've seen a few of his videos.
I think what had happened was, and I'm not going to mention the channel's name. What happened was, and I didn't have any problems until I learned there was a channel on YouTube that this guy was a convicted diddler
Oh,
and had a YouTube channel and was claiming to be a word of the God. And me and some other people went after him, and that's when I started getting the complaints and the strikes, and then they demonetized our channel.
wow. Yeah. Well, I haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know the gloriness of being monetized quite yet, but um, I don't know. I mean, I'm being accused of trying to gain
But if
people's respect because
I
I'm
look at it
off of
this
their
way,
backs.
if you're gonna be that type of person and you're gonna abuse a child,
Oh yeah,
I don't care about monetization. I don't care about YouTube.
right.
I'm coming after you. And it's
Absolutely.
not like it was hearsay, it was proven. I seen the court documents,
Yep.
and it triggered a lot of people in our community and caused a lot of hard feelings. And here's the way I look at things. Uh, if you're on a chat somewhere, allegedly, let's just use this as an instance, and even if it is a fantasy play, and the other person you're chatting with says to you, "Hey, let's pretend or that I'm underage." At what point do you stop?
Oh, I
When
stop
something
immediately
like that
as
is
soon as they
said,
say that.
shouldn't if you're against it or whatever,
Yeah.
and that shouldn't just like red flags and bells and whistles go off and like be like, no, excuse me, I'm not
Yeah, I'm
into
out.
that.
I'm
And
I'm
I'm
gone.
out. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gone when that happens. Exactly.
And then even after the person told them that it wasn't a fantasy, that they were really that age, they
Oh no.
continue the conversation.
Yeah, no bueno.
Yeah. Hey, Tat, I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
you're trying to do it for respect. I think you're trying to do it for actually sort of respect for the military of people who actually served and died.
I honestly, and I was going to, I actually spent today. People don't know this sometimes, is when I'm doing my commentary for my video section parts of it. I sometimes go off on like long rants, and then I end up deleting the whole damn thing, just over and over again. And today I was actually going to make a video where I was just talking directly to Wrangler, and I was talking to him as just a human being. Like, look, I said in that rant that I was going off on, is I was just saying, look, dude, actually feel and I do, I really do, as a human being, I actually care whether or not he goes through a hard time because of what I'm doing, my video. I really do. I care about that, and I really care that that he is going to. He's, oh my God, he doesn't even know what's coming. Um, he, that he's going to be exposed in front of millions, not just a thousands, not from my channel views, but there's going to be millions of people that's going to know. And these people are not as friendly as I am. They're not, and they will just eviscerate all of his safeguards about his where he lives and all that stuff. They'll do it on their own. I have nothing to do with that. I would never do that to somebody like that. But I was trying to appeal to him and say, look, man, do yourself a favor and just own it, man. Just look, I made a mistake. I got caught up in it. I wanted to feel a little better about myself because I had this checkered past and this and that. And people do. They get caught up in things like that, and the story becomes the more times they tell it, the easier it becomes, and it just becomes a part of their life. And it's okay, man. It's okay. We're all human. We all have made mistakes like that. And sometimes we've made mistakes for years in our life, over and over and over again, doing the same thing over and over, even though it's bad. We still do it. And nobody's never done something like that, I don't think. And it's the same for him. And it's not what you did in the past. Right when you own it, it only matters what you do moving forward, in my opinion. Right at that moment where you say, look, I'm done having to worry about this or that. Because I could tell he was stressed out on his channel tonight. I could tell. I could see it. I could see it in his eyes. As a matter of fact, they're actually taking a vacation right now to get away from YouTube. And part of it, I think, is to try to leave, and maybe somebody will forget. But I'm not going to forget, Wrangler. If you're watching this, I'm not forgetting. I am. I don't know if you can notice it by my videos, but I am extremely detail oriented, and I listen to everything you say, and even I listen to every little aspect of what you're saying. And I know I wasn't a medic for no reason at all. Medics have to be very detail oriented. We can't miss anything, or people die. So, I feel a genuine compassion for people. I really do. I love people. I really do. I wouldn't have been a medic, and I wouldn't have been willing to risk my life for other people if I didn't like people. But Wrangler, I'm telling you, man, I hope you're watching. I hope some way you get this message. But look, dude, it's time, man. It's time. Why? It's harder to maintain all of this other stuff when it's just so much easier to. Most people, like criminals, when they get caught for the first time after being on the run for a long time, they go, "Man, I was actually relieved that I didn't have to look over my shoulder anymore."
Well, let me tell you that speaking of that, that made me think of my situation, and that not uh, I was on the run for almost, well, from 2007 until 2020
Oh wow, you should have
on
been on that show. I almost got away with it.
on unpaid fines
Oh, okay,
and stuff, And yes, if I had come back to the state of Tennessee, it would have got me arrested.
right,
But the whole thing of knowing that it's over your head and it's
right,
looming, and that when I finally contacted them before I came back to Tennessee, where I'm at currently,
right.
and made arrangements with them, it just like when we sat down and done the video chat and the virtual court and stuff. Of course, that was during the pandemic,
Sure.
and I made arrangements with the court and everything to pay them. Dude, it was just like
A
I'd
giant
lost
weight.
a whole bunch of weight. I felt
Right,
free.
right. And that's what I wish for him. I really do. I wish I may disagree with him about auditing and this and that and the other thing, and I can do that. But man, just as a human being, wouldn't it feel so much better not to have to worry about blocking people and putting fans only, or what do you call it?
Subscriber
Subscriber
only.
only.
Subscribers
Yeah.
only. Yeah, fans only. I hate to use that term nowadays. Subscribers only, or and all that. Why would you have? It takes more work. I go through therapy all the time, right? And through my therapist. My therapist was always telling me like it's it's harder to to give in to your symptoms than it is to try to improve yourself. It's actually harder because what you're doing is on purpose. Because I self isolate. That's what I do. I self isolate myself all the time. I stay away from people. I don't go outside. I don't leave my house hardly. And it makes me feel bad, right? But then he goes, "Well, why are you doing something that makes you feel bad?" And it makes sense. Why am I doing that? Why do I do it to make myself feel bad? Well, do you like making yourself feel bad? No, I don't like making myself feel bad, but I do it anyway. But
Well, that's
why?
like that's like the whole thing that I was getting at. Like even though I hadn't had any more in trouble with the law or hadn't been arrested or whatever, and even though I had turned for the better, you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
that wasn't doing anything, but it was still like I was actually still breaking the law,
Yeah.
because I didn't pay the fines and stuff,
Sure.
and I knew where I was at in Florida. They wasn't going to extradite me
Yeah.
because over unpaid fines.
But that must have been tough for that long. You know what I
It
mean?
was. It's
Yeah.
hellish
Right.
because then you get to thinking, and this is the mindset that you actually get. Well, what if they sent a bounty hunter after you? What if because those fuckers are ruthless,
Oh yeah, absolutely they are. I've seen them. I've seen them
and it, it
on
it
TV.
it does get to a point where it bothers you. You're looking over your shoulder constantly
You
and
could be
shit,
sleeping
and
in the middle of the night and they come in and get you.
oh
You
yeah,
know? Yeah.
Yeah. That's why a lot of states are getting rid of the cash bail system to where the
Oh really?
courts have to do it and where bounty hunters can't do that.
Oh wow. They're not going to like that. The bounty hunters aren't going to like that. Well, I thought the bail bondsmen have a right to do that. That's what I
they
always
do.
thought. They do. Yeah, I thought
And
they
they have a
did.
right. Like Illinois is getting rid of the cash bail system. Kentucky doesn't have a cash bail system. They got rid of it back in the 70s.
Man, what is Dog the Bounty Hunter going to do
So
now?
so
Dog can't
basically,
do Dog can't do anything. He's a convicted felon. He cannot even
ba-
put hands on you legally.
basically what happened in that situation, like they told me when I finally called the judge and started talking with them, and the prosecuting attorney, I had what they call an active bench warrant,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and it'll never go away. It's not never going to go away. You're either going to pay it or you're going to come to court and answer why
Right.
you
Right.
haven't. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
capus, I guess, basically is what they call it. And fortunately, I didn't have to do all that. They put me on unsupervised probation until it was paid.
Right.
And it took me 2.5 years.
But you finally got it done, huh?
And listen, I paid off $27,000
Oh
in two
wow.
and a half years.
Wow, that's awesome.
$27,000 in 2.5 years.
But how good did you feel after that was done?
Really good. And
Right.
you know what? It really wasn't my fault. But when I say that, it's true. My ex, my youngest son's mother, we had a joint bank account together, and I had a thriving wrestling business.
Yeah.
And when I sold the business and everything, she decided that she was going to leave. So she waited till I was out one night playing cards. I used to play poker a lot.
Yeah.
And she called her dad. She called her brother. They rented a U-Haul. They backed up to the house. She drained the bank account and
Oh
took
man.
everything in the house and couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Wow.
Nothing, because she was on the bank account.
Oh
And I
wow.
had over $27,000 in checks bounce.
Wow. That reminded me of a movie I saw not too long ago. It was a movie where this guy was actually doing this to older women, and I guess eventually he was like taking these older women, and once he drained their bank accounts after
Yeah.
marrying them, his mother would put them in like a basement or something and keep them hostage, and then they would keep collecting like their social security and all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah,
But it's paid off.
that's good.
Uh, and it feels good. You know what I mean? I haven't been arrested since, and even in 2007, I wasn't arrested then. The town where I lived. You know what they done for the bad checks?
What's
They
that?
sent me a letter in the mail, telling me that I had a warrant.
Oh
I
no.
called them. They come out to the house. They read me my rights, wrote me a citation to appear, and I appeared in court. And I made arrangements with them, and then I fled the fucking state.
Man, I watched my mom one time. This was a crazy story. When I was a little kid, we were very poor growing up, right?
Yeah.
And my parents did the best they could. And back then, you could float a check for a while. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
sure. I've done it.
Yeah, yeah. And they wrote a bad check for some groceries at one time. And I don't even know that they remembered it or something. I think it was like only like $200 or something like that, or whatever it was. And my a cop came to the door. My mom was she worked, but she sometimes would babysit too. So she had a house with a bunch of kids. I was probably, I don't know, I must have been like 7 or 6 or 7 years old, and then we had a few kids at the house, and or not even a house. We lived in a single wide trailer at the time, and so we didn't have anything. We had nothing, and a cop came to the door and said, "Hey, are you so and so?" And my mom said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, unfortunately, ma'am, I'm gonna have to place you under arrest because of, bad checks that you wrote and blah blah blah." And my mom was like, "Well, I have all these kids and I don't know what to do, and and this and that, and I can get it. I get it." She took her by surprise, had no idea what was going on. I mean, probably knew what he was talking about, but didn't really understand what to do with us. So anyway, apparently the cop saw a sticker on the back of my parents' car that was an affiliation with a certain church that the cop knew about, right? And my dad was going through a school that was affiliated with that church. And that cop, for some reason, I guess out of whatever, the kindness of his heart or whatever he said, but he goes, "Look," he goes, "I won't take you in right now because I can see you have a lot of kids. And what I'll do is when your husband gets off of work, then I would like you guys to just come down to the station and turn yourself in." So they did. They turned them. They both went up there, and back then, I guess nobody cared about leaving kids in the car because I was sitting in the damn car with my brothers, and we were sitting in the damn car outside the police station for
Yeah.
for a good few hours. I think I don't remember how long it was, but then all of a sudden, I see my parents walking towards the car, just like they went shopping for a little bit and came back, and that was that. But they actually processed my dad and my. I don't think they processed my mom all the way, but I know they processed my dad, and then he came home later on. I think my mom first got out, and then my dad got out a little bit later, and I was real curious about it. Like, I remember asking my dad, what was it like? What'd you do in there? And I remember they put all of his stuff in a bag, like a plastic baggie or something. He showed me that, and but yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
Well, I remember, uh, you know, people don't realize, when you're growing up and your money's tight and you're poor,
Right.
and that I can remember. I guess probably I was probably, I don't know, 8.5, maybe 9 years old,
Yeah.
and it was Christmas time, and we were so damn poor that my grandmother, who was raising us, had to come to us and tell us, that there would be no Christmas this year.
Right. Oh, I've had those.
And dude, when you're that age, you're still believing in things like the Easter Bunny and the
Oh,
Tooth
Santa and
Fairy,
this and that. Yeah.
and that shit. That's disheartening, man. It's like at that age, your whole world just you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
what happened to Santa Claus? Why can't he bring us presents this
I'll
year?
tell you who was Santa Claus for us one year, and I don't know where this came from. I don't know who decided to do this for us, but the Salvation Army came with a truckload of shit for our
Yeah.
family one Christmas, and ever since then, the Salvation Army has always been top on my list. If I was going to give a donation to anybody on the planet, it would be the Salvation Army because of what they did for us that year,
Well,
and I don't know where they came from.
the local Elks Lodge down here does it. They have Christmas parties for the children. So do
Right?
some of the churches, and over the years, I've really done a lot for them because I really believe in what they do, and that's Toys for Tots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good program. Yeah.
And they do a lot for underprivileged children.
Right.
And Salvation Army, same way. That they do a lot.
You know what sucks about being a poor kid the worst though is your parents are the ones that are making the income, but you get made fun of for being poor.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
as if
because you're
you have something to do with it.
instead of wearing like Nikes or whatever, you're wearing
Right.
shit like Kids or
Oh no, I had no name brand anything, and all my clothes were hand me downs. Like
oh
I was,
shit, I know.
yeah, all my clothes were hand me downs. I didn't have new clothes for, and all our clothes came from Goodwill. So the joke we used to have a joke when I was a kid. I remember somebody saying, "Hey man, what does that shirt itch?" And you're like, "No," and they go, "Well, I did. It did when I had it."
Yeah,
So yeah, so that would have applied to me as a kid because I remember school shopping at Goodwill when I was a kid, and my mom actually haggling over like a 10 cent shirt or whatever it was. Like, oh, there's a string right here. Can you give it to me for 5 cents or whatever? So yeah,
or
that
or
was
what else was embarrassing, especially with me, because I was a fat little dude,
yeah,
and then having to go into like Big K or one of the little discount stores, and shit.
you
And
had
the
to wear the
clerk goes,
husky
"Well, whoa,
pants.
what size is he?" And they're like, "Oh, he's husky."
Yeah, husky. Yep, I remember that. Yep, husky. No, I was a skinny little bastard. I was a real tiny
Or
little.
well, that's even worse. I mean, fuck,
Yeah,
your pants were like Slims or some shit.
yeah. I was a tiny little wiry dude. I had no body whatsoever growing up. In my senior year in high school, I weighed 134 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, I was tiny. But I was actually a long distance runner, so that's why I ran. Believe it or not, at one time in my life, I used to run about 10 miles 5 days a week, and was really dedicated to running. And I don't
And
know why. I just liked it.
in high school, I weighed 225 and can bench press almost 600 pounds.
Oh damn! Did you play football?
I did.
Oh yeah, yeah. I figured that much.
I did. Well, you know what? I thought if I had to go to school, might as well just get some enjoyment out of it some damn way or
Why
another.
not? You got to play sports in school. I think
Oh
every
yeah,
kid should do that. I mean, I wrestled in high school is what I did. I wrestled and ran track, and I ran cross country. And but I wrestled. My weight class was 135 pounds or something like
and
that.
they wasn't gonna let some fat kid on play basketball. So what else could I do?
I'll tell you what, high school wrestling was the hardest damn thing. I think even more so than the army training that I went through. I don't even know if that compared to it. I'm telling you,
I wish we'd
wrestling
had
that
a
was
wrestling team, but
ridiculous hard.
nobody ever took interest in it. We didn't have we had like drama club and
Yeah.
some dumb shit like that.
We had an amazing wrestling coach, but there was one thing that he did that I always never understood why this was, but back in the day, and you probably may remember this, but back in the day, there was some kind of thing about like coaches not letting you get water during practice. And that's what my wrestling coach was like. We would train for like 3 hours a day or something crazy like that. And he would not let us get any water during practice. And there were some times where I just thought I was going to fucking pass out.
Shit, man. He'd make us do like fucking popcorn and up down and fucking run in place and shit and just fucking. I mean, our coach was hard on us, but you know what? We respected him though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we respected the coach,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
we had a problem like with the and that, with another player or whatever, if we couldn't talk it out, he'd tell us to put the gloves on, and yeah,
Yeah. I was just a I enjoy. You know what I always thought should be in high school. What do you think about this? And I always thought this should be. Do you think they should have boxing in school? Because I think so. I
absolutely.
I think boxing would be a good school sport. Because and the reason why I say that is because if they allow football in school, which is a very dangerous, it's dangerous to concussions and all that stuff. If you're not worried about that with football, why can't boxing be a sport? I don't understand. I think boxing
Right.
would be a great sport for high school.
Especially if you're wearing headgear and stuff.
Right, right. Yeah. I
And
don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it would be a great sport.
if regulated, I mean, I think it would work out really good. I mean, children go to kickboxing tournaments and things like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit all the
exactly.
time. I mean,
Yep.
karate tournaments and
Yep. Oh, believe me, I was in Taekwondo a while ago, and in my in my 30s, I did Taekwondo for a little bit, and let me just tell you something, man. That shit hurts when you get hit.
oh yeah,
I forgot all about that. I ain't been in fighting in a long time, and I got into this. I did a tournament one time, and boy, when you make shin to shin contact, like if
oh
you
yeah,
go
that
both
shit
up, go for.
sucks.
Oh my God,
You
I
can
was
actually break bones that way.
I had a pretty good match though, because I had there was no because I was older, right? I had nobody in my weight class, so I had this one dude. He was a bigger dude than me, and I impressed myself actually. I did a spinning back kick, and I knocked his ass right off the mat. And I
Hell
didn't even
yeah,
realize I could do something like that. It was pretty cool. It was fun.
yeah. I took a little kickboxing and stuff. I kind of liked that stuff.
But I stopped doing it. But it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. But those damn tournaments last all damn day. Oh, it gets crazy.
I'm not a I'm not a I just kickboxing was a lot of fun. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, it sounds like it would be. The really crazy kickboxing I got to see when I was in Thailand, the Muay Thai guys. Oh
Yeah,
my Lord, that is
yeah.
vicious
Those little
shit,
guys are crazy, man.
man. I sat there in a bar one time in Thailand, and I don't drink or anything, but I sat there to watch the kickboxing. And first of all, the music that they played, the entire damn match is crazy.
Huh.
And then, but they actually started them as little kids. These kids were coming in like, I don't know, I would guess they were maybe 10, 11 years old, and they were fighting full contact, like full real deal kickboxing.
Oh, sure,
Yeah, it was crazy. It was
absolutely
entertaining to say the least. It was
right.
crazy. Yeah.
I I don't know, man. Like I always thought like collegiate wrestling and stuff like that was a lot of fun.
Right.
I enjoy that mat style wrestling,
Right.
and when I was wrestling and when I trained to wrestle and stuff, I had a guy, and he was tough, but he would teach you how to grapple and stuff like that, and I really
Right.
enjoyed it. I mean,
Wasn't Kurt
because
Angle an actual college wrestler?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I
he's an
thought.
Olympic hero and all that shit, man. He
Yeah.
won like 3 gold medals or something
Yeah,
with a broken
that's what I was
freaking neck.
thinking. Yeah, that guy was amazing.
I mean, god dang, how many people can say they broke their freaking neck and
Yeah.
still went on and competed?
Yeah, that guy was crazy. But yeah, no, and I'll tell you another thing. If you don't wrestle and you watch a match, people tell me it's boring and stuff like that. But I love watching wrestling. I can watch it all day, damn day.
Well,
Uh,
I think what irritates me more than anything about, and maybe it's just because I'm old, the a lot of the new wrestling is when they get in there and they start doing all these flip flops and fucking
Right,
shit
right,
and everything. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's cool and it looks good,
right.
but realistically, when you're wrestling, are you? I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Now, well, there's too many theatrics now that didn't exist back then. But back in the day, it was just who was going to whip whose ass.
Oh, sure.
That's basically that was basically it, you know.
And the business was more protected too.
Right.
You
And I
know,
miss and I don't know. I guess they don't do it as much anymore. But man, when I was a kid, man, with a match without blood was just not a good match for me. They used to
well,
like cut. I guess they cut themselves.
AEW does a lot of matches and those guys bleed and stuff, but they go
Yeah.
like overboard with it. I mean, like every damn match, somebody getting busted over.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, I can't do that.
it
No.
don't. It takes all the fun out of it.
Right,
Like
right.
when I was doing a lot of independent wrestling and stuff like that and everything.
I remember wrestlers used to get that pink forehead from cutting themselves so much on the head.
Oh yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
I remember seeing that.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of like if you look at Mick Foley, man, he's got a lot of scars and shit on his head from
Yeah.
like, well,
I know
yeah,
they used to take a little razor blade or something. That's what I've
yeah.
always heard.
Can you see the scars?
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see them. Yeah,
Yeah, but like when we was doing matches, you know, when we was working against somebody or we was telling a storyline, like you know, like a hardcore match or a bull rope match or something like that.
I miss the bull rope matches, man. I used to
You
like
know,
those when I was a kid.
that was kind of like to end the feud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When you went out there and spilt blood, you done it to tell a story.
that was
Like
Cowboy Ron Bass, man. That was
right,
the one I used to watch.
hell yeah, Terry Funk,
Yeah, yeah.
God rest his soul. You know, shit, man. I tell you what, I grew up and I loved watching ECW, like the Sandman and freaking Tommy Dreamer
Oh yeah, yeah.
and all those guys and that.
Nah, man, I used to love all those the older wrestlers. I even liked Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah,
And he was a great wrestler. Actually, he was a guy who, as a kid, from a kid's perspective, he was the most evil person on the planet when I was a kid. Like, I couldn't think of a more evil guy. I know he was probably a great guy off stage, you know, but in when I was watching the match, man, I hated him. But that means he was doing his job very well, you
you
know.
remember back in I guess it was in I don't know how long it was, but he was in WCW.
Yeah,
There was a wrestler that come after Sting and that, and he wrestled under Yoshi Kwan.
yeah.
His real name is Chris Champion. God rest his soul. He's
Oh, I've heard of
deceased
Chris
now.
Champion. Yeah,
And he also wrestled as a Ninja Turtle, which was great,
that's funny.
and everything. But you know, he had a stroke, and then he messed up and got caught up in some shit. You know,
Yeah. Well, I know a
and
lot of guys get addicted to that pain medicine, you know.
yeah. Well, you know, I'll be honest with you. Even doing independent wrestling where you're not getting like, uh, you know, you're not like on WWE or whatever, but there's other little
Right.
companies, you know, that are they're just as good,
Right.
but you're not making like WWE money. You're making
No.
like, you know, you're making pretty decent money, and you know, you do build up a fan base, and it's just like the best way to describe it is just like being like a rock and roll star.
Right. Right.
You're
Right.
going to get rats. You're going to get drugs. You're
Oh,
going
sure.
to, you know,
And plus, you're traveling all the time, and you got,
sure.
maybe a party to go to after the matches and stuff like that. I'm sure that
Oh yeah,
happens, Yeah.
and like I said, you get ring rats and everything. You know, for
Yeah, I'm
people who
sure.
don't know what a ring rat is, that's somebody waiting to sleep with
Like your
somebody.
groupie.
Yeah, yeah, groupie.
Yeah.
Best way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to. I remember back in the day, and when I was a kid, I thought, of course, I always thought wrestling was completely on the up and up. Like there was no script or anything. I just thought it was the real deal. Because when I was
Oh,
a kid,
sure.
I didn't know any better. But to me, that was great. I just thought it was great. And
Well, if you grew up back like us, I'm pretty sure you remember the wrestling from the '80s. You had like
oh yeah,
Jerry
I was a
Lawler,
huge wrestling fan in the
Jerry
'80s.
Lawler,
Yeah,
Bill Dundee, the
yep.
fabulous ones, the Boondogs.
Oh, all
Yeah.
of those. Yep,
Oh
yep.
yeah, and man, those guys, Coco Beware, they tore the house down.
Yep. I remember, man. See, I remember when the big rivalry when I was a kid was Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. That was the
Yes,
two rivalries back when I was a kid that I
yes,
remember.
for the NWA title,
Yeah, and they
absolutely.
were always and Ric Flair. It used to piss me off so bad when I was a kid because I was so frustrated that Dusty Rhodes could not kick his ass. Like it just seemed so the bionic elbow, man, blam, that's it. No, that's all you need.
Yeah,
And it just, oh man, it was crazy. We saw him wrestle one time against I can't remember who it was, but I remember I think it was Ric Flair, and Ric Flair had his ass in the damn ropes and had the damn ring ropes around his neck and was like trying to strangle him and stuff. And I was a kid, and I was actually watching it in person. Man, I was about to get in that damn ring myself, beat the shit out of Ric Flair, but he probably would have just pushed me off. But I bet you that happens a lot too. I bet you some fans get all pissy and try to get in there.
all they do.
Yeah, yeah, that's
My,
crazy.
and let me tell you, my grandmother, my she was such a big wrestling fan, and she was another one that believed, that wrestling was just the shit. Everything that was absolutely real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Absolutely real. And never forget it. We was wrestling in Jackson, Tennessee, down at the fairgrounds,
yeah.
and it was before Stone Cold became really big, and so it was me, Stone Cold, Steve Austin. He wasn't going by Stone Cold Steve Austin then. He was going by Steve Williams or something to that. I
Yeah.
don't remember, Steve something or other. But and we was wrestling Tojo Yamamoto and a couple other guys I don't remember. But anyway, my grandmother loved us so much and everything, and just absolutely hated Tojo Yamamoto. She pulled off her wooden clog, the little heel that she had
Oh
in, and
no.
hit him in the freaking head with it, dude.
Oh shit.
Stone Cold Steve Austin talks about it on his podcast.
Oh,
And,
that's crazy.
and yeah, but she did, and she got she got thrown out of security and all
Oh
kinds
my
of shit,
lord.
dude. It was, oh yeah.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
funny.
I got thrown out that night too. I hit a security guard and shit because he put his hands on her. And no, that just, you know,
I remember as a kid. I think I could be wrong, but I think that they used to send people into the ring on purpose, as
yeah.
disguised as fans, because they would get like the wrestlers would pick them up and slam them and throw them out
Oh
of the
yeah.
ring, and I was like, I don't think they would do that to a real fan. Maybe they would. I
No,
don't know.
it was people that were training.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. That's what I always thought.
I wrestled under Dark Angel, buddy.
Yeah, Dark Angel. I've seen him in matches on YouTube a couple times. I've seen a
Yeah, I've
few.
got pictures too on my Facebook where with the title belts, me and my tag team partner,
Yeah,
and yeah,
man. Man. Tag teams were awesome too. So I used to like watching tag teams. Who was it? The British Bulldogs that I used to like.
I
Ricky the
wished I could
Dragon
get that
Steamboat
video
was one of my
off of
favorites too.
I wished I could get that video off of MySpace, but I can't get it to even play. Uh, it'll and that I wanted to get it off so I could put it on YouTube
Yeah,
because the tag team that we wrestled and that is one of the guys is deceased,
yeah.
and I just wanted to kind of do a tribute, to him and stuff.
I was a Barry Windham fan too. I loved
Barry
Barry
Windham
Windham.
was awesome, dude.
Yeah, I love Barry. I remember he went and got into a mask. I think he called himself the Yellow Dog or some shit.
Tracy
And
Smothers is my fifth cousin by marriage. God rest his soul. He's
oh wow,
deceased now too. But yeah, I've wrestled with Tracy. Matter of fact, Tracy Smothers, when I first broke into the business, and that got me with him and Tracy Smothers and Dirty Dutch Mantell and Scotty McKeever.
yeah,
They took me on the road, and we went all up in West Virginia and Indiana and places like that. And I wrestled Dirty Dutch Mantell and shit, man. It was great. I mean,
now they would bring you into a bigger show as an independent wrestler, would they not? Like
yeah,
they they
absolutely.
they like contract you guys, right? Is that what they would do, or
Well, it's not really a contract. You like sometimes like we would play. I let's see, I get we would
just a
go to
random dude that jumps in
yeah.
there or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I've wrestled under a mask. I've wrestled. I wrestled as Cupid one time.
That's awesome.
Me and another buddy. We had a effeminate tag team. I guess
Yeah,
that's the best way to say it. So I
right.
don't offend nobody. We
Right.
caught a lot of heat that for being like that, dude.
That's
We'd
funny.
come out with blonde wigs, and we had a valet. She would spray perfume. Oh, it was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And we'd
That's awesome.
hug each other and stuff, especially
Oh
for
yeah, of
oh
course.
god, it was great. We I loved it. It was like a tribute back to the old time, like the old
Yeah.
wrestling.
Well, that reminds me of the old Adonis Adrian Street. I think they had a
Yes,
second guy that played him too. But
yes.
but the original one I remember, and we went to a match where he was wrestling against Dusty Rhodes. That was the highlight of the night for us. And they were in I think it might have been a ladder match or something like that. I remember there was a ladder involved somewhere. And Dusty Rhodes did something I'd never seen before and I'd never seen after in all the years that I've watched it. And Dusty Rhodes bit down, or at least appeared to bite down on Adrian's forehead, and then spit the blood up in the air.
Oh yeah.
Never seen that happen after that. And I remember that night, Dusty Rhodes walked right past me, and I pat him on the back. Boy, I thought I was on
Oh
cloud
yeah. You
nine.
thought you were hot shit, huh?
Back in those
Yeah.
days,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Back in those days, you could do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I grew up, like I said, I grew up with the Hillbilly Jim and Hulk Hogan, the
Oh, I used to
Macho
love Hillbilly
Man.
Jim.
Oh yeah, dude. That Hulk
Don't go
Hogan
mess
was
with a
a
country
hero.
boy. Yeah.
I am a real
Oh yeah, I
American.
remember that
Oh
like it was
yeah,
yesterday. Actually, the highlight of Hulk Hogan's career for me was when he picked up Andre the Giant and body slammed
yeah.
him.
Well, that wasn't the
Yeah.
first time that he done it though.
Oh really?
No, he done it. See, back in the day, they had territories. Of course, that was the best thing about it. There was no internet, so who the hell was going to, you know what I mean? By the
They
time
wouldn't know. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you had
But
little dirt sheets and things that you read in wrestling magazines and that,
oh, I
and
remember those. Yeah, I
oh
remember
yeah,
those. Yeah. I remember there was this one guy, and I can't remember his name. I think it was called like the Ghost something. He wore a white mask. And I remember in those magazines, it would just show him like living around, like just it's supposed to be his everyday life, but he's wearing the mask. And I'm like, how the hell does he go through his entire life wearing the mask? But
and
back
the
then, when I
only
was
way
a
I
kid, I
could watch
believed it.
wrestling, like because we didn't have cable or whatever and shit, man.
Oh yeah, we didn't
my
have it.
my buddies would we'd videotape it. He'd videotape it or something. He had Prime Star. Of course, you remember Prime Star though, and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And he'd videotape the pay per view, and I'd watch it like 5 or 6 days later. When he
Oh
brought the damn
sure,
tape
yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah. I used to
Man,
love
hell, I
those.
watched WrestleMania 3 on two different VHS tapes, and then got mad when the damn thing broke because that was
Yeah,
that was a prize. That
yeah,
was
absolutely. No, that's crazy, man. Or
Yeah.
the damn that actually when you're talking about that, it reminded me of the cassette tapes being eaten by the fucking recorder. You know, when you're a kid.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
remember? Used to remember. Speaking of cable and shit, where you would late at night you could watch like some of HBO, but you couldn't see it all. It's like you could
Oh yeah,
you
squiggly
could
lines. Yeah,
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 you
yeah,
could make
yeah.
it out, but and you might get lucky and see a body part here or a
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember that. Trust me, I remember
because the
that. You got
shit
to
was
squint a little
scrambled.
bit here and there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember all that. Actually, we had a. My brother was man. My brother was a fucking con artist, but he figured out. And I don't know if this was a universal thing, but he figured out that if you took an envelope in the old cable boxes, if you took an envelope and you put it in the cable box and then you pulled back on it and caught these little, I don't know if I guess there were hooks or something in there, but as soon as you did that and you got it just right, you could tape it back up onto your cable box and we got all the channels for free.
Oh
And
hell.
we had that shit for a long time where we didn't pay a damn dime. And but yeah, we that's how we did it. And then
Yeah,
I
I remember
remember
climbing. I remember climbing the light pole and shit.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we well for a long time all we had was an antenna,
Hmm.
and the job as a kid was we had to go outside and turn that
Turn
motherfucker
it.
until my
Yep.
dad got the damn right picture. Yep. Hey, stop, right there, right there, right. Ah, damn
Yeah.
it, go back, turn it back.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you were the fucking remote control.
And
There
I was
was
the remote.
you
No,
could get
no
up and
such
turn the
thing as
damn
remote
channel.
control. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I had to get up and turn the damn channel
Oh
for
yeah.
different things. Yeah. Yeah, they actually had knobs on TVs where you actually
Oh
had to turn them.
yeah.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, and then if you wanted to watch like UHF or some shit like that, you'd have to turn it to where it was in the middle of that one
Yeah,
thing and
yep,
turn the
yep.
bottom knob and
Yep, I remember that. And as a matter of fact, there was a show that I used to like to watch on a channel called Creature Feature
yeah.
with Dr. Paul Bearer.
Yep.
And I got to meet Dr. Paul Bearer later on in life, and he was pretty cool. He was a cool guy. But now I hear there's actually a guy that's running around acting like him now too. But yeah,
Y-
Creature Feature, man, I used to
You
watch
could
that.
and your rabbit ear antennas had aluminum foil on them.
Oh, we always had aluminum
Yeah,
foil.
we always you remember the round ones
Oh
and
yeah.
shit, man. I had so much aluminum foil hanging off one of them.
Yeah, man, we had all that shit. I mean, growing up, because I mean, we didn't have anything. We didn't have cable. I mean, I remember when cable first came out. We didn't. There was no such thing as cable that I can remember. Anyway, I remember when cable first came out, and
Yeah.
the way I recollect it is there were no commercials on cable. That was the reason why you got cable is because you didn't have to watch commercials, and then all of a sudden commercials and stuff, and I'm like, well, what the fuck's the reason to even have cable
And
if you got to pay for it?
remember when they started doing like the video stores and shit? You'd go rent a VCR and you'd rent the tapes and
Oh yeah, we did that. Yeah.
oh yeah, we did
Yeah.
too. Because
Yeah, you had a
you couldn't afford a fucking VCR. Them damn things were high.
you had the please be kind rewind sticker on the fucking tape. Yep, please be
Yeah,
kind rewind. Yep, and
and
then you get charged extra if you didn't rewind.
and just think about it now. Most of the technology, I would say probably less than 40% of the U.S. watch DVDs or whatever now.
The very first VCR movie I ever saw was a movie called The Last Starfighter, and it
I
was at
think
one of my friend's house. His dad somehow became I don't know how he ended up doing it, but his dad was on a cornflake commercial,
oh
and his dad was on a cornflake commercial, and then they came into a little bit of money. I don't know how much it was for a cornflake commercial, but they got a little bit, I guess. And they ended up buying a VCR with it, and then they invited all the kids around to go see
wow.
the watch the movie. Yeah, and we did. I sat there. I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was awesome. Man, you can actually have this movie in your house. Like, cool. You know.
You know, I can remember as a child the very first movie I went to the theater and seen. I can remember the very first movie I ever went to the theater and watched.
For me, it was Star Wars.
My very first movie that I ever went to the theater and watched was E.T.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing ET in the theaters. Yeah, I saw that. And back
And
then, they didn't seem to give a shit about ratings either, because I remember going to see Jaws by myself and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
There was no such thing, and it just yeah.
yeah. I sat there through Jaws when I was a kid by myself in the theater, and they didn't do all that other crazy stuff.
And ET scared me. I don't know why, but it did. It scared me. But and by the end, toward the end of the movie, and that I felt sorry for the little alien, and
Yeah, yeah. I remember movies were only like dollar a movie, or like maybe 50. I almost can recall at the drive-ins they were like 50 cents a
Mhm.
carload or something like that.
yeah,
We still have a
drive-ins were
drive-in.
sweet.
We still have a drive-in nearby where we are. So
I went
every
and
once in a
watched
while.
Twister on a drive-in at the drive-in movie theater.
I remember one time I went to this drive-in just because for nostalgic purposes, and this drive-in had a bar next to it, and they had live outdoor music at the same time the damn movie was
Oh
playing.
no,
Yeah, I was just like, come on, man, it sucks. But
that's
no,
a
we
bummer.
our tradition when I was a kid was when we go to the drive-in, we got the Little Caesar pizza because it was always two for price of one.
Oh yeah,
Pan, remember that?
oh yeah,
And
pizza,
so
pizza.
pizza. We get two pizzas for the price of one. I don't know why they stopped doing that shit. That was great. And we would get that, and then maybe a 2 liter bottle of Coke, and we would head on down to the drive-in and eat pizza and watch the movie.
Shit, man, I remember when eating out was a privilege. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And man, there was something else I was just about to bring up about the movies. But I remember my mom telling us to slouch down because for an older kid you'd have to get charged more. So sit down,
Yeah,
slouch down in the seat. Don't look
I don't
so
know how
damn
many
tall.
times. I don't know how many times we went to the restaurant. By golly, and I'd be ate like fucking for 4 years or some shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We slouch down. Don't try to look older, and it was fun, man. I enjoyed those times, and there's still a few theaters out there that you can go drive in. If you've never been to a drive-in, you've really got to try it. It's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, drive-ins are awesome.
Yeah, and but there's nothing worse though than a guy that has a hatchback vehicle and they fucking raise that bitch just so you miss part of the damn movie, part of
Yeah,
the screen. Used to hate that shit, but or you got the big
of
trucks.
course, as I got up into my teenage years, when I go to the drive-in, it wasn't for the movie.
No, no, I know that. Yeah, I know that.
It was a place to park.
Yeah, of course, of course. But I enjoyed driving. I still enjoy driving every once in a while.
And the hard part about that was trying to figure out which movie you were gonna go watch at the drive-in with your
Yeah,
girl, so she
yeah.
really didn't get too interested in the freaking thing.
Oh yeah.
And I made a mistake one night. I took this girl I was dating, and they were playing Dirty Dancing at the drive-in. That was
Oh
a
no,
mistake. Yeah,
that's
that was a
definitely
mistake, bro.
yeah, that's definitely a chick flick kind of. Shit, my wife still likes that movie. She
Oh
watches that
yeah, it
every
was a
once in a
good
while.
movie. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
I
We
don't
what
have a Purple Heart.
I
Oh,
watch a lot of classic movies like that. As a matter of fact, I think it was on my TV just today. Dirty Dancing was on TV today.
but I'm really into like the Transformer movies. I want to see the new one, The Rise of the Beast. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it.
Yeah, I still got to see the movie Oppenheimer. I still want to see that, and I haven't seen it
Dude,
yet.
that is a great fucking movie.
Is it really? I haven't even seen it yet. I
Yeah.
still want to see it. Is it out on
I'd
like
have to say
Netflix or
that,
anything now, or is it
huh?
still? Is it available on streaming now, or is it
Yeah, Peacock.
still? Oh, we got Peacock. Yeah, I'll watch that
Yeah.
then. Yeah,
Dude,
we got
Nicolas
that.
Cage played a amazing part. I'd have to say probably one of the best movies I've seen him in a long
Really,
time.
really,
Oh
I need to
yeah.
see that. Yeah, the last movie I saw that was new was the George Foreman movie, and I thought that was a pretty good movie too.
Of course, I liked all the new movies. Creed too. I liked those. I liked all
Oh
three.
yeah, we've been a big Rocky fan forever. My
Oh
wife's
yeah,
a huge Rocky fan. She watches those things all the damn time.
dude. I remember when Rocky first came out in the late '70s and stuff, man, and
Yeah.
just watching that, and
See, there you go.
he made you believe in him.
That's a movie that I saw in the theater when it first came out. I saw that movie it was an indoor theater at that time. The first movie I recall seeing as a kid is Star Wars, and we went to a drive-in to see that. And believe it or not, when I was a kid, I was so young at the time that I thought Star Wars was boring as fuck, and I went to sleep. I don't know why, but for some reason, maybe it's just because I was a kid and I was just tired.
They just done that whole movie trilogy thing back, but so backwards now. It's like you don't know what part of Star Wars.
Disney
is
fucked
where.
it all up, in my opinion. Disney fucked it all up. I don't like it anymore.
You know, you're like, well, what part am I in? Is Darth Vader still alive, or is he dead? Whose father is he? Or
Oh yeah. I think the last good Star Wars for me was Empire Strikes Back, with Yoda and all that.
I
always
like
liked
the
that one.
Ewoks, man.
Ewoks, yeah.
I like the little Ewoks. Those little guys cracked me the fuck up.
Yeah, those back then. I think after that though, I never really saw a good Star Wars that I really enjoyed after that with like fucking Jar Jar Binks and shit.
Yeah, and
What the hell's
I like
that?
the movie The Gremlins. I like Gremlins.
Yeah. I remember the Gremlins when they first came
Yeah,
out too. Don't feed them after midnight.
Go, Ghostbusters was the original was good.
Yeah, I saw that too. I remember
Yeah,
that bitch in the library is the funniest part in my opinion, where she just looks out
dude, I
there and
remember when Nightmare on Elm Street first came out. I laughed all the way through it
yeah, yeah. We did
because
that at. Go ahead.
it was just you could tell that they never expected it to be as big as it was, and
Oh yeah,
it was really a B movie. It really was, but
right.
it got so popular.
My favorite scene in that movie was when he picked up this chick and he bashed her head into the TV and goes, "Here's your breaking TV." I thought that was pretty funny.
or when he drug her up the wall. That made me laugh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then pulled her
Fucking
back down
Freddy.
through the waterbed.
Yeah. Not see back then that movie was like state of the art, for its
Oh yeah.
time and this and that and
Or when the guy was on the motorcycle, don't dream and drive.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he encased him in all the motorcycle parts and
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Crazy movie, man. But hey, man, I'm gonna drop off now because
alrighty.
I got to do some stuff before I go to bed, and I'm all medded up now anyway, so I'm good. Yeah, I take every day. I take about 14 pills a day, so
uh,
yeah, I'm all. But the VA keeps me well stocked in drugs. I don't know if half of them are even good. Well, a lot of them are vitamins, actually. Believe it or not, I take a lot of vitamin supplements and stuff they give me, so that's okay. Fish oil, I take that every day. Those kinds of things. So they do pretty good. Vitamin D is one that I take every day.
hell yeah.
Folic acid, vitamin D. What's the other ones? Um, the fish oil and some other shit they give me. But yeah, I take all that stuff and then all my other pills and shit. So they keep me
Hell
well
yeah.
stocked. Yeah, they keep me well stocked. I mean, you know, the VA. I mean, that's if any reason to go in the military, that's one reason. The VA sucks in a way, but so does regular medicine anyway. Um,
Healthcare is such a pain in the ass, dude. It really
yeah.
is.
Well, a lot
Like,
of people neglect themselves now because they can't afford it.
well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they don't go. They don't go, and they need to go, but you can't go because you can't afford it. You know,
Yeah, and then a lot of the doctors are not real personable either. They
not
just
anymore. Not like they used to be.
not at all. Yeah,
No.
they're like, okay, sure, next.
Yep. Yep. And actually, most of them are just pill pushers now.
Yeah,
Which what really pisses me off about the medical field, really, and I was in the medical field, so one of the biggest things that pisses me off about the medical field is they always talk about we're going to find a cure for this and find a cure for that, but I don't really even think they're interested in curing it anymore.
they're
I
not.
th- I think what they're interested in is keeping you fucking coming to them to empty your pockets. That's what I
Do you
think.
know how much money a year is spent on cancer research?
Oh yeah, and then cancer itself is a huge industry.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think they'll ever cure cancer because it'll put people out of work.
Well,
you know?
I'm sure they've already found the cure.
They probably
I'm
have.
almost sure. and that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It blows my mind. And then I have another side of me too, where I've worked with patients that I used to look at them and I used to think to myself, why are we keeping this person alive? Like,
I've seen
why,
people like that. Yep.
man? Let me just tell you, one of the worst diseases I ever seen in somebody, and it gives me nightmares sometimes. There was a guy that we took care of that could not stop moving. He just could not stop. I can't remember the name of the disease, but he could not. He was thrashing around in his bed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day and night. He could not stop breathing. We had or moving, and we had to pad his bed rails and everything because he was just flailing around all the time.
That's
And
horrible.
he was begging us to put him down. Is what he was
Oh yeah.
all the time, every day. And he eventually died of exhaustion. Is what happened. He just died of
Well,
exhaustion.
when you get to a point like that, what is your actual quality of life?
There isn't. There isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be honest with you, I had these, and I'll tell you straight up. I don't mind saying it. I had the same thoughts about my mother when she came down with dementia,
Yeah.
because it's her sometimes, but it's not her most of the time. And I think to myself, what would I want if I ever started losing my mind and not knowing my family and and
Alzheimer's. Yeah, that
man,
is another man. It's just
no, that's my mom. My mom's that way, and I think to myself, man, I don't know that I would want to be like that. I really don't. I
my
think I might suck on the barrel of a gun before I end up like
my
that.
grandmother got like that in before she passed away, and pr- you know I try to remember the good stuff, but it's
Right.
hard. And
It's so rough, man.
before she got Alzheimer's really bad, one of the sweetest ladies you ever met, never said a curse word,
Oh yeah.
never. And then toward the end, it was just like total daylight and dark.
Oh yeah, no, no. I actually said because I'm a person of faith. I don't mind telling people that I do have some. I was raised up in a Christian church and this and that, and so I am a person of faith. But I'm going to tell you something. If anything has ever tested my faith the most, is why my mother was the most devout religious person I've ever known and as pure of heart as I can think of,
Yep,
and she has done so much good for a lot of people when she didn't have shit herself. She
absolutely.
did so much good for people. And why would God strike somebody down with that terrible ass disease after doing nothing but good in this world that I can't recall anything evil she's ever done. I really can't. I really can't. And I know she's my mom, but I cannot think of something. I'm sure she's done some bad things, but I can't. I've never witnessed anything bad that she's ever done.
In
And
2016, I watched a person that I was with for almost 15 years slowly
yeah,
die over a late 11-day period.
right,
That they suffered from congestive heart failure, had a major
right,
heart attack, destroyed any quality of life. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And even after being taken off of everything, you know, and couldn't move and all that stuff, and even being given morphine and that, I'm not gonna lie. I know this sounds bad,
No, you
but
wanted to give it a little bit more.
I prayed for God to take them.
Oh yeah, no, I think that way about my mom. As a matter of fact, and I'll share this with you. I used to take care of her in her house for a long time, and I would go there every day and spend the nights and weekends and actually I did it for almost like 2 weeks straight with her, and she was just suffering so bad, and there were thoughts in my head. I'm not gonna lie, there were thoughts in my head where I was thinking, man, it would be it would be a mercy killing. It would
Right.
be
And that's like I told the lady at the hospice, I said, just give her a good strong dose of morphine and that end it.
yeah, it'd be a mercy killing, and I hate seeing my mother like that. I mean, it just rips my heart
Oh, it
out to see
does.
her.
It
It just
does.
does. It rips my heart out, and I think to myself, what would I want? What would I want? Would I want my kid to have to deal with me like this? And
Mhm.
would I want myself to be like this? Because the default, sadly, about people with Alzheimer's and dementia is they get mean.
They do.
They get very mean, and they don't mean to be. They don't want to be. Like, I think my mother would be mortified by the way she acts now. She would absolutely be beside herself, and just because I've actually talked to her about it, and I know it's probably not a good thing, but sometimes I've talked to her about it when she is clear, and I say, Mom, you call me sometimes 30 times a day and ask me the same questions over and over and over again, because sometimes what she'll do is she'll call me and she'll say, am I supposed to be here? Because she now lives in assisted living. She's not in a nursing home, but she's in assisted living. And she calls me sometimes and asks me how long she has to be in the hotel, and this and that and the other thing. And I try to tell her, I go, look, Mom, you've been diagnosed, because my mom was a healthcare worker all her life, and so she understands Alzheimer's and she understands dementia and stuff like that. So when I break it down to her like that, I go, Mom, do you remember when you used to take care of patients that had dementia? And she would go, yeah. And I'd say, well, Mom, unfortunately, you now have dementia, and you have to know that you're clear sometimes. Man, I've cried many times after talking to my mom,
Yeah, it's hard.
when she's clear, I miss that about her. And when she's clear, I can't help it. I can't help but be emotional about it, because that's my mom now. And
Oh, I
before that,
know.
she wasn't my mom, and now she is my mom again. You know, and
It's tough.
oh man, it's the worst. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I would not. We're going through it right now. I mean, it's ongoing right now, and
Basically,
it is the worst.
the Alzheimer's and that turns their brain to mush. Unfortunately.
Oh no, it kills me, man. And I've seen I worked in the healthcare industry for a while myself, and I've seen the end game to Alzheimer's
Oh,
myself
sure.
firsthand, and it is not a good sight. It is not
It,
pretty.
it's not. It's not pretty at all.
No. And man, if anybody's going through that, the best advice I can give anybody is just try, like you said, man. I think the most important thing you can do is just remember them for who they were, and understand that it's not them talking to you saying those. I mean, my mother said some hateful things to me, and it's not her saying that. It's the
Oh, I know.
damn
It's
evil
not. They're not.
disease saying it
I can't imagine what's going on
in their
in their
head.
heads. You know
You know what
how.
she described to me one time? She told me, she goes, because it's been some time now that she's been in assisted living, right? And she go, and I'll tell her how long she's been there, and she goes, really? I've been here that long? And she's like, and I'm like, yeah, Mom, you've been there for this long, but you keep forgetting because you have the condition that you have, and so on. And she goes, it's like, this is how she's described it to me. It's like I just woke up and I don't remember anything else before that.
Right.
That's what she told me. And I believe that. I believe that's
Kind of like that movie,
how it
30
is.
Force Date, 30,
51st,
40.
that's
Yeah.
51st dates. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. And my mother's memory right now will last sometimes for, I would say that at best, in a conversation, if I'm having a conversation, sometimes I got to speak real fast to her in order to get all the information I want to give to her so she can retain it. But sometimes it doesn't last any more than like 5-10 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
and then she's asking me the same shit that she just asked, or we just talked about 5 minutes ago. And it's, oh man, it's such a vicious thing, man. And that's what caught my son was even angry. He was like, he was yelling. I heard him yelling at God, and I've done it too myself, and just going, why does
Well,
she
it,
have to
it
do it?
does make you wonder, like how things play out. Like I said, in 2016.
I mean, there are people in this world I think that deserve it. To be honest with you, there are
Right.
people in there that deserve stuff like that happen to them. But man, I just can't.
2016, I lost the person that I was with for 15 years,
Oh well.
and after she passed away, I was in a bad, dark place.
Yeah.
And I'd met Dawn, and
Right.
me and Dawn started off as friends, and basically it just, we were together and not together, kind of thing, and that, but we took care of each other, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And I loved her. I wasn't in love with her. I loved her. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want nothing bad. Didn't want nothing bad to happen to her.
Oh yeah.
And March, she started feeling pretty bad, and I thought, well, damn, maybe she got that COVID. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
So on a Thursday, I took her to the emergency room over in Ocala,
Yeah.
and they took her in. I explained to her, and he done some X-rays and stuff, and he comes out there and he says, "Mr. Greer," he says, "I need to talk to you for a minute."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." He said, "Dawn is eat up with cancer,"
Oh wow.
and that was on a Thursday. Monday afternoon, Monday evening, at 7:30, she was deceased.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of cancer was it, if you don't mind me?
Intestinal cancer.
Oh
It was
wow.
all in
Oh
her
yeah. That'll
reproductive
that'll
organs and all
yeah.
that stuff. Just she was eat up with it.
Yeah, that'll get you real quick too. That's a crazy. That actually reminds me of my dad dying because he was diagnosed with COVID about, I would say, 4 days before he passed away. Like it happened like lickety split. Like
Oh
I thought
yeah,
it was, yeah, it was quick. It took him like really quick, quicker than I expected. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. And that's why I always tell people, you never know when your last moment with somebody is.
it's true.
You just never know, man. You don't know. Was having a fight with my dad a couple days before he died, and I didn't know that he was going to die. And man, I regret that shit.
Well,
I
and
was
that's the
having,
thing, like with her, she'd went to the hospital before. She's complaining of her stomach, and now I don't know. She may have known. I can't honestly say yay or nay one way or another.
right,
But I go back and I think back, the last year and a half that of our living together and everything. How sometimes she would become just extremely hateful, and I've seen
right,
cancer do that to people.
right, yeah.
And
Well,
just,
it's pain. Pain
yeah,
makes you mad. It
and
really will.
push people away, and
Yeah.
just ugly, absolutely
Well,
ugly.
I was that way myself because of my mental health issues. I've had some mental health issues, and I was paranoid all the time. And I still have some bouts of that a little bit here and there, but I was a different person, completely from what I normally am, and that's why I used to tell my therapist is I just want to be back to who I used to be, you know.
Yeah,
And what he told me is sometimes, just like with those illnesses and stuff like that, sometimes you just have to know that your new normal is this,
yeah.
and you're just gonna have to
How far
manage it.
away from Citrus County in Florida are you? You don't have to give me precise, just a rough estimate.
To be honest with you, um, shit. Let me look at a map. Right now, I'm drawing a blank on Citrus County for some reason.
Yeah, it's Inverness.
Okay, yeah, it's Dunellen, Crystal River,
Yes, that area.
Brooksville, kind of ish.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Um, I'm a good ways from there. I'm a really good ways from there, actually. I'm probably. Let's go look at that. Well, you got Ocala, not too far, so.
Yeah,
Well, you know where the Santa Fe River is, right?
I do.
That's exactly where I am. Santa Fe
Okay.
River. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and I used to live in Citrus County there in Florida,
Yeah.
and it's still rough. And that I used to work at. Being in Florida, I'm assuming you know what a sweepstakes place is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And I was working for a facility there, and we had hired this young lady. And I told my boss, I said, "Dude, listen, her old man. He's a ex-military. He's off the chain. He's jealous, and this is not going to end well if we don't get rid of this bitch.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not trying to be, you know what I mean. I wasn't trying to be rude, but I said because, you know, well, she started having an affair with one of the guys that was working there. She broke up with him on Valentine's Day.
Oh wow.
Flaunted her new lover in front of his face while he was at work at Walmart.
Wow. Wow.
March or not February 17th or 18th. I'm not exactly sure on the date. It's one of those two. And that he comes looking for her while she works. He knew when she was getting off. Called his mom, told her that he was going to kill her and himself.
Wow.
He ran from the police. He was armed. He ran from the police. They called off the chase. He managed to get around the cops, and they had officers and stuff in the plaza where we was working. And he rammed his minivan into a cop car at 50 miles an hour.
Man.
Shoved that cop car into two other cop cars, and went to get out of the van and everything with a loaded firearm, pointed it at the officer and shot. I witnessed this young man get his head destroyed. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And
I've seen things similar to that, yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, witnessing something like that is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And given the fact that this chick that he was married to, while that young man was laying on the concrete, not even covered up in the parking lot,
right,
was flirting with the cop that was doing the investigation.
What?
I'm not kidding you.
Man,
wound up
crazy.
getting pregnant by the officer
Oh no.
that was investigating the unaliving of her husband.
Wow.
I want the video.
Yeah.
I've sent in a record request to EFL 8, whatever, Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
Wow.
That was 6 months ago, and I still haven't heard anything from them. Citrus County will give me the video if I send them a flash drive and have somebody pick it up. I don't have anybody down there to pick it up. They refuse to mail it.
Yeah. Well, they're just covering it up is what it is. They're just trying to cover it up. Just like they always do, you know.
And I would be lying if I told you that it didn't bother me. And I can't imagine somebody in a combat situation that's seen that over and over. But I know how it affected me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And I still have night terrors from it. And it took me a long time to get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. It's crazy. But hey, man, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to jump off for a minute. I got to go.
All righty.
All right, man. Hey, take care. Good talking to you, man.
Good talking to you too, brother. I've been enjoyed it.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, me too, man. Have a good night.
You too, sir. So, hello, Kenny. How are you? Y'all just gonna have to excuse me for a minute. I'm gonna have to go over here and get a drink. I'm gonna turn my camera off and do that real quick. Oh. He did show the scar and that Go back and look at 4 lives ago, I think it was, or whatever. I'm not 100% sure, but he did show it on his live. I don't even know. I don't know if it's still up or not, but he did show a scar. I don't. In that. Doing pretty good, my man. Yeah, I can still see because I got it on my TV with it muted. Man, I'll tell you what, it was nice here today. Hopefully it was nice where everybody else was. It wasn't too bad and hot. Little muggy, but yeah. Not too awful bad. Hi, a little bit. I love you. Little bit of Chihuahua, huh? I hate when it's muggy, man. But that's just the weather. We ain't got we don't have any control over that. Yeah, it was a little muggy, but it was a nice day. I think it's supposed to be down in the lower 60s tonight or some shit like that here. Maybe even the 50s. I don't remember. Sorry, guys. I'm having a snack so I can take my nighttime medicine. I know when I lived in Florida, it stayed hot all the freaking time there. Even when it was supposed to be wintertime, people running around when it was 40 degrees. Oh, it's cold. It's cold. And I'm like, no, this ain't cold. You don't know cold until you've lived up north. That shit's cold. Of course, I say that, and then people in Alaska is like, no, you suckers don't know what cold is. Live in Alaska or Canada. Right? So do you think Hurricane Lee is going to hit the United States, or is it going to go by us? I know hurricanes are no joke. Yeah. It's definitely been a magnet for it. It's kind of weird, like California and places like that getting hurricanes and stuff, you know. Like you don't even think about that kind of stuff because it hadn't happened in such a long time. And and that and then like Hawaii and I don't know. Weird. I mean, it may have used to happen all the time, but before they started documenting things, I don't know. I wasn't around then, but totally insane how sometimes, of course, we're in we're in a El Nino or whatever. Hmm. Well, that soda's good and cold. I like it. Yeah, some people say it's global warming. I don't know. I'm not an expert, so I can't say one way or another what it is. But I do agree the weather has changed. Was Al Gore telling the truth? Hmm. Oh, damn. I'm looking for something I want to show you guys. To me, it was funny. I don't know what everybody else will think, but to me, it was funny. I don't know what everybody else will think, but to me, it was funny. Come on. Sorry about that if it echoed. Oh no, dead air. Dead air is not good. Okay, back it up just a little bit. Take a good look around you. Yeah, sometimes drought and flooding, man, can be crazy. I hate when we get flooding and stuff. Public safety bills, police and fire. I'll show you guys something. Does that mean we can have a community meeting? I guess I don't know. Boy, that car took some damage on the rear. Are you filming our cars? Yes, I totally am filming your cars. That one needs to be washed. Oh, cool. Check out the lights, like right here on the sides, guys. See the light right there? That's pretty cool. A little dirty. I think that might have been a little hail damage right there. I think that was some hail damage. I'm not going to touch it. Hey, look, Alabama, roll tide. Heck yeah, roll tide. In God we trust. Not a drive-through service. Oh, come on. I thought I could drive up and get a police report. Oh, in honor of 410. That's awesome. Sir, you're being disorderly. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to step away from the police car. You're being disorderly. Look, he's being disorderly. Sir, you're being disorderly. Back away from the police car. Sir, do you understand that you are on a government vehicle? You're being disorderly. Sir, you are under arrest. Put your legs behind your back. Tase him. He's getting away. Tase him. Okay, I'll quit being silly. Ring doorbell and wait 3 seconds. I just wanted y'all to see that. I thought that was funny. Yeah, I done that. We done that today while I was on the audit, and I seen that little bug on there, man, and a little grasshopper or whatever, and thought that would be pretty cool.
Hey, what's up?
That poor little grasshopper, huh?
Was that a grasshopper or was that a locust?
Nah, Katie did, or whatever they call them. I don't know. I always call them katydids.
Mm,
I think they're kin to the cicada family.
I don't know. There's so many of them that look the same.
Everybody that was sitting here watching that's probably thinking, damn, that dude's nuts. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. If you want to see the rest of that video, you'll have to go watch the live from today, but not now, unless you want to.
Yeah. I'm wondering what would happen if you called 1-800-DILLYGAFF.
Oh, 1-800-DILLYGAFF?
Yeah.
I don't know. No clue. Does it look like I give a...
Yeah. Oh, what was it? I think it was the old police department's number in Fountain. Used to be 719-FU. If you were to spell it out on the keypad.
Yeah, we went and done an audits at a police department today, post office, courthouse, sheriff's department, and city hall. And if you don't want to watch the live, you can wait and watch the video I have premiering tomorrow at 4 o'clock from the static cam. It's a hell of a lot clearer. We're just so happy to have our monetization back and stuff, like, you know, now we can have members and all that good stuff. We got a super chat during live today, and this morning I was happy about that. I was like, yay, I got a $10 super chat. Holy cow, I haven't seen that in 4 months.
Yeah. The only thing bad about it, you got to wait till you get what, at least 100?
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm happy. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
It's official. Gunther is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, PayPal's changing their currency stuff out.
Yeah.
Doing something with their currency. Like, you got to choose what type of currency you want, and they'll no longer convert it to another currency.
Yeah. I don't know. We, the people, passed the Honky Tonk Man. Yes, he did.
Oh, where's the Honky Tonk Man?
He passed the Honky Tonk's record.
Mm.
Yep. He did. He did. Because I'm a Honky Tonk Man. I don't know. Gunther's pretty decent wrestler, I think. Can't complain. I think he does a pretty decent job. They see me rolling.
They're hating. trying to catch me riding dirty. No, they're just trying to catch you white and nerdy.
Right?
If you want to go by the Weird Al's version.
I liked Weird Al.
Yeah.
Have a good one, man.
What time do I need to know?
That's right. That's the best way to support this channel is hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.
I think 802.
Seen Honky Tonk Man wrestle before there was a Monday Night Raw. Dang.
Okay.
Wonder where Indy is.
I'm probably taking some Z's. And he'll probably wake up here in the next 2-3 hours when everybody else is going to bed.
Right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Dog the Bounty Hunter cannot bounty hunt.
Who's the most known person that I wrestled? Oh, well, the most controversial would have probably been Chris Benoit. But I wrestled Scott Steiner. I wrestled Rick Steiner, Raven, Dirty Dutch Mantel, Superstar Bill Dundee, Jamie Dundee, Ricky Morton.
I'd say myself.
Yeah, I've wrestled myself, but that don't count. I wrestled a broom once. Does that count?
Probably.
Yeah, it's funny wrestling a broom or a chair.
Or trying to put a toddler bed together that has like 4 things for the instructions.
Oh, you put a toddler bed together?
No, I
Oh.
had to when my daughter was younger.
Oh, yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah, especially when they only have like 4 pictures for the thing. Like, put this part, this part. I was like, okay.
That definitely sucks. Anytime you put no, I didn't beat Steiner. No. Lord, no. But I enjoyed wrestling him. That was a lot of fun.
Chair. I'm not trying to electrocute myself.
Of course, you know, wrestling's one of those sports and stuff. Altoona, PA. That sounds familiar.
And the funnest thing I wrestled was a catfish.
A catfish?
Yeah. Especially when they're being stubborn.
Oh, yeah. I almost made a joke there, but I don't want to get unmonetized. So the same day I get monetized, so I'll just be nice. Probably going to be that way for a little while. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, where's the mute button? There we go.
Altoona. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Why does that sound so familiar? Altoona, PA. Huh. Little bit. Big Papa Pump. Old Scott Steiner. Huh. You know, that sounds familiar, bro. Of course, I've done a lot of drugs and slept since then. Not recently, but yeah, back in the day. Let me clear that up so somebody don't go, oh God, you hear him say he's a drug addict?
Technically, everybody is a drug addict. Everything we put in our bodies a drug.
Well, I'd done some crazy stuff back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to get technical about what a drug addict is and what a drug is, it's pretty much any substance that the body doesn't naturally produce.
Right? Well, he does a little bit. Crazy little dog. My crazy little dog. Yeah, here's my crazy little dog. Yeah.
I'm wondering where Gregory is. He's probably at work.
I don't know. He was in here. I thought he was in here earlier. Maybe asleep.
Yeah.
He does get up pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets up pretty early. I don't know. It's just nice to have a good live once in a while and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a late night cop watch one night or something.
Yeah, what would be fun is get a SDS scanner, get it programmed for the frequencies down there that aren't encrypted. I'll come down there with you, just have the scanner. So if they want to gripe about it, it's like, yeah, here you go. Here's my FCC license. Have fun. We can go to court.
I just went somebody on a motorcycle. He went zooming by. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
And one thing I don't understand with like Kentucky, right? They sell their old police cars. Still take the decals off, but they'll still leave them coded to a point. They'll
Right.
be black and white or whatever the department runs. But like if you were to buy a black and white in California, you can't have a vehicle that's black and white in California because they consider that still as a coded police car. It's weird how states want to be with old cop cars.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, California would be like CHP or something.
LAPD, CHP, pretty much almost majority of law enforcement out there runs black and white paint schemes. There's a vinyl shop that
You mean the
one of
chief
their
of
cars.
police over the chief of police? Yeah, I don't know. He seemed a little agitated. Maybe he's just having a bad day. Or maybe he just didn't like my uncanny wit about. I don't know. Maybe he thought I was a smart ass. I think most cops think that though.
Yeah. Another thing I would like to see is law enforcement get rid of their unmarked units.
The deputy at the courthouse was pretty nice. A lot of these small little towns and stuff like that, man, they don't know how to take that people filming and stuff.
Except with a lot of the small towns, it's either their way or the highway.
Yeah, it's true.
You get into some of the small towns out in like western Kansas and the panhandles of Oklahoma, they still think it's the wild, wild west.
Living in the wild, wild west.
I've had cops admit that, we'll follow a drunk person home as long as they don't hit anything. We're not going to arrest them for DUI.
Little red Corvette. I like little red Corvettes.
I'd rather have a little red Thunderbird.
Yeah, I didn't think we done too bad today. I thought we was pretty polite. I thought we were pretty polite. Didn't cause too much of a ruckus, I don't reckon.
No. The only one that caused the ruckus was the postal employee.
Yeah, both of them. Hey, Josh, or whatever his name was.
Now we'll call him Bob.
Yes.
Just for privacy reasons.
And Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. Oh.
But I'm going to head to bed. It's almost midnight.
Yeah, it won't be long before I go to bed, but
So I'll talk to you tomorrow.
all right, buddy.
Later.
Have a good one. Yeah, some cops can be a real pain in the ass, buddy. They get that smart ass attitude. They do. They do. They get that smart ass attitude for some reason or another. Let that badge go to their head. Well, no, ain't no reason to sound bad. I mean, it's true. I mean, they get they get a dumbass attitude for some reason or another, and I don't know why. Hmm. He was a little agitated. Like I said, I've known the chief of police over there all my life, and that. But sometimes shit changes, you know. I think for the most part, though, they were pretty decent and didn't try to, you know, violate anybody or anything like that. For the most part, may have wanted to, but they didn't. I think it's just like with anything else. Some people get a position of power and they let it go to their head, you know. I got to figure out when we do a live like that how to make it clear. And that I know the reception today was kind of crappy, but I went live on YouTube. That's the first time I've ever went live with a YouTube studio, like when I do stuff like that. Instead of using like a StreamYard or something like that. Yeah, we just walked in that into the post office area, into the part where in that little lobby there, man. And then next thing you know, you got two or three people hollering at us, "Hey, you can't record in here," and all this stuff, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, like calm down. think, matter of fact, I even think that's what I said to him. Hey, just chill out, calm down. Don't escalate the situation. Relax. We have a constitutional right. And the best part about it is that, hell, I wasn't even recording the cop, or I mean the postal, none of the workers. I was filming something on the damn wall. No, not yet. Watch out, a little bit, move. Haven't been trespassed yet. Yet being the key word. I think we were close to getting the law called on us today, and I think that's why the chief of police showed up in two different places, because we'd been called. They'd been called. You know, because that camera is a scary thing, you know. It's like I told that guy at the post office, man, there's cameras all around us. Calm down, dude. Hell, you're on video everywhere you go. I mean, think about it. Seriously, though. I mean, it literally, cameras are everywhere you go. Grocery store, gas station, banks, you know, courthouses, football games, you know, high school football, wherever. I mean, you know, people are cameras all around. Even in your own home, sometimes, you know, you still have cameras. Like, I know it's for a security purpose, but still, I'm just saying, you know. Walk in with a camera in your hand and people just freak the fuck out, man. They're like, oh God, he's recording me. Yeah, the one deputy at the deputy sheriff there at the courthouse, and that he seemed pretty cool. You know what I mean? I like having good interactions like that. Interactions. Yeah. Wow. Interreaction. I don't know. That sounded weird. Why does that sound weird to me all of a sudden? Interact reaction. Yeah. I don't know why that sounded just so weird all of a sudden, but yeah. He was actually a good dude. I mean, I thought so anyway. even with the sign on the door and everything that said, "Hey, no phones, blah blah blah," but it wasn't backed up with a state ID number or anything like that, or CR code or anything. I was expecting when we went over we'd have a little controversy with them a little bit, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad at the post office. Most of the time they're pretty cool over there. Man, it's like they wigged out. Everywhere else was okay, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about it, I got to review something real quick. Now that I'm thinking about that. No. That's it. Yeah. Right, and I get that. I understand both sides. I really do, and I think that's why I'm a little more sympathetic and about certain things. You know what I mean? Like today, I didn't go out of my way to try to film those people at the post office and shit. You know? You skipped your graduation pictures? You can't tell it by as many videos as we do. I don't like cameras either. I know that sounds hypocritical, but yeah. But in the same respect, I like all of our constitutional rights, and sometimes you got to hold your government accountable, and you don't have to be an asshole to do that. You know. I mean, regardless of whether they like it or don't like it, and that the holding a camera and taking pictures shouldn't be turned into a crime, especially if you're not doing anything wrong or whatever. Oh well, it's suspicious. Well, gosh damn, there's a lot of things nowadays that are suspicious. A man standing in a movie theater or sitting in a movie theater masturbating with a bucket of popcorn. That's suspicious, but they're just not used to that kind of stuff, and some people it throws them off. I mean, who the hell is going to rob a city hall? What are you going to gain from robbing a city hall? You know what I mean? It just don't make no sense. I mean, that just don't make no sense that they would even think that somebody's going to come in and try to rob a city hall. I mean, I guess if you made somebody mad about their water bill or something, I don't know. Because I don't think about it like, I wouldn't think about it that way. Like, have a good night, buddy. Well, all right, guys. I think I'm going to end this. I've been live about 2.5 hours. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Don't forget, we got a video dropping about at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we'll catch y'all later. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Hit that like button and share and subscribe if you haven't already.